You've probably heard of the two terms instant and delayed gratification, and I've talked about both of these quite a lot on my channel, but there is a third player in this game of self-improvement that is deadlier than instant gratification, which is the sort of gratification that many people, including myself, talk against a lot in the videos that I produce. And this third player is no gratification. It's where you work so hard, just as you would do in delayed gratification, but you end up not getting the gratification whatsoever. You end up not getting the gratification 2-3 years down the line when you have a nice aesthetic body or a big business. You end up having nothing to show for the hard work that you've done, and it's a deadly thing, because you end up wasting years, months of your life for something that may have not even benefited you whatsoever, and all you really have to say for it is the bad experience that you sort of had at the end of your journey, when you realize that all of this may have ended up being for absolutely nothing. It's a deadly thing, and yeah, I feel like it almost needs to be talked about in this video. And I don't want something like no gratification to end up happening to me. I don't want this concept of no gratification to happen to this YouTube channel. I mean, as I'm recording this, I'm not monetized yet, but I do really hope to be in the near future, maybe by the time that this video comes out even, which, because it's being recorded like a month or so in advance. But I don't want this channel to be no gratification. I don't want to have worked so hard during the summer holidays only for it to not end up being an income source, and only for it to not end up being something that actually benefits me in the future. I don't want to put in all this hard work for absolutely nothing, and the only thing I really have to show for it is the experience of recording videos, maybe being a better speaker, which, while are good benefits, it would seem quite counterproductive. It wouldn't necessarily be a good investment of my time to have done so much and put so much effort into these videos only for it to end up amounting to nothing, because otherwise all of this hard work would just be for nothing. It's such a deadly and unforgiving even concept that many people don't really talk about in the self-improvement space whatsoever, and that's why I just wanted to shed some light on how bad this concept can actually be. And there is a very common form of no gratification that almost everyone experiences in modern society. It's so potent, and it really catches a lot of people out with how it's no gratification, and that is the concept of school. School is no gratification. School, you work tirelessly for years of your life until you're 20. That's 20 years of your life you work tirelessly in the school system, which may even be for nothing. For many people, school is no gratification, because once they get out of university, get out of college, they get into an entry-level job where it's hard to sort of climb up the ranks of the ladder, because the people at the top can't retire because they don't have enough pension money or whatever, and it ends up being a whole 20 years of education in the school system for nothing. Nothing, because they've had this 20 years of the purpose of it was education and enlightenment, and they end up getting into an entry-level job where it's difficult to progress, and they're stuck at this level for the next 10 to 20 years again until they're 40, and then they can progress. And it's just such a potent no gratification sort of thing that's very common in many people's lives. And I just want to shed a bit of light on how school can be no gratification, because while there's no denying that for the top 0.1% of people in the school system who get the best grades you could possibly imagine, there is a way to millionaire, billionaire level success. They get into the best colleges, Harvard, Ivy League, all that sort of stuff. They network with all these rich billionaire children, and they end up making a lot of money themselves through business opportunities. That's a way to success through the school system, but that's only applicable to the top 0.1% of people who get the best possible grades, and for them, then it becomes delayed gratification, because they put in so much work. And while many people still put in so much work, their circumstances, their genetics with their memory, their learning style, may not mean that they can sort of be the top 0.1% in this system. Even the top 1%, the top 1% that's not the top 0.1%, will suffer and fall fail to the no gratification concept. They'll work tirelessly into good degrees and then get into an entry-level job which pays maybe 20-30k a year, and then end up not being able to progress from then on, and that just sort of, their life just stagnates. And yeah, I feel like it needs to be talked about, this concept, because it's going to catch a lot of people out, especially when people at the top of the sort of escalator of jobs. Like, older people cannot retire anymore because things are so expensive. They don't have enough pension money. And then the people at the bottom who are just graduating out of universities and have good degrees, they end up getting into the entry-level jobs, the 20k, 30k, 10k a year jobs. But they can't progress, they can't get promoted because the people at the top are not able to retire. And this sort of just gets, it's just like the escalator of, like, the promotional system of careers is just jammed completely. And it means that school ends up becoming no gratification because you don't end up, the 20 years you studied for ends up being for much less than what you potentially expected. Many people expect that grades can sort of carry them into riches and billionaire, millionaire success, but that's not the case. They've been tricked, lied and fooled to, because that's not what school was ever for in the first place. And so they again fulfill to no gratification, because school didn't equip them with the necessary skills to actually be able to sort of make their way and fulfill their own destiny in the real world. They weren't equipped with the skills of networking, of social skills, of health, of actual delayed gratification. They weren't equipped with these skills, and so they end up suffering in the long term. And yeah, it's just a sad reality. But the end of the rainbow for many people isn't so golden. As I've said, the end of the rainbow may not be a pot of gold as is expected with delayed gratification, and it may just be like earth and soil. You have to fulfill your own destiny, and I hope you understand that throughout this video. You have to fulfill your own destiny. Grades are not going to carry you to where you may want to go in life. You have to do things yourself and not really trust in the school system that, while has its benefits, is quite an old system and it's very outdated. And I feel like in the modern day, many people are considering grades less and less as a marker of importance in how good of a sort of person in the sort of workplace, business place you actually are. So yeah, with that, I hope you enjoyed, and I recommend joining my science Discord community, which is in the link in the description. And I also recommend subscribing, because I love this community of young tribal people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have. And good luck.